Here is your astrological analysis of presidential candidate Bernie Sanders and why I feel and have felt since May 2015 he is the best candidate in the race, and why I also feel that it is pretty inevitable that he's going to win despite some of the caucus losses. They are losses, but it's been so close. I just would like to note that. In any case, I've long admired his indefatigable nature in fighting for equality, for fairness, stretching back throughout his entire life. And I feel like his Venus in Libra really embodies that, as well as his Mercury in Libra. And his Mercury in Libra, I would like to focus on, is is so it's so refreshing to have a candidate who has strong opinions, who is able to critique our culture and to speak his mind, speak their mind rather, and to at the same time as all that be able to listen and formulate and come to genuine conclusions through a genuine thought process, not being told what to think, how to speak, and whatnot, and not seeking to come across as I am a candidate that knows everything. And many times, in fact, in every speech he's ever done, really, Sanders has said it's not about him. And I think that's been one of the biggest challenges for President Obama. Incidentally, a Leo, Mercury in Leo, ego being one of the challenges. I think though he's had, and I caucused, or I didn't caucus for him. I wasn't able to the first time, but I volunteered for his campaign, for example, and I voted for him the second time around. Still, there was that challenge of and the public perception of he's going to fix everything. He had the best intentions. I really do feel that. But as Sanders said, and I think this really reflects with Mercury in Libra, Venus in Libra as well as the natural Virgo and humility that he is born with, that he recognizes that this is not about him. This is about the people, just as democracy is supposed to be about the people. And what's beautiful is he has taken this core understanding, and even at this point when, I mean, this is the most widely paid attention to election by far, even topping 2008. And in the in the face of so much challenge, in which other people would buckle under that kind of pressure and start just losing their way, getting confused, and potentially selling out to some other special interest, or selling out in the sense of ego, out of self-defense, or ego self-aggrandizement. Either way, Sanders has not done that. And that is somebody that I trust. And as a millennial, I was born in 91, being the inheritors, essentially, of so much corruption, just decades upon decades of political deregulation, starting with the Reagan presidency in the 80s, and special interests infesting our democratic process, which has been the foundation of this nation for centuries. I cannot even put into words how reassuring it is and how inspiring it is to finally have a candidate that we can trust, that we can genuinely see as a good person, and somebody who, and Obama, for that matter, is seen as a good person in many of the eyes of millennials, I like to say. But again, furthermore, a candidate who and this is a dimension of being able to trust him to do the job, and to, again, to continue to speak the truth and to do good work, is his ability to see past himself. And I would like to note that as much as I've championed President Obama, there have been, I mean, the TPP is just, I don't understand where he's coming from on that. I've done a video on that. And in any case, with presidential hopeful Sanders, it is infinitely refreshing to finally have a candidate that is, as I said, speaking the truth, looking at the issues that this country faces, and coming up with viable solutions for them. It's interesting. It's been interesting to have seen how mass media has tried to derail this campaign from the beginning. And we're not just talking about Fox News, typical bastion for right-wing Koch brothers, greed, and corporate. Is there even a word that's strong enough to describe that kind of corruption? In any case, we're looking at a candidate who is going to do their job, who has done their job over the course of their entire lifetime. Somebody that, after getting into office, will do even better work. And especially with, and this is also a testament to his intelligence and his ability to correctly ascertain the problems that this country faces and how to fix them. To work with the American people to elect people that actually have the best interests of us at heart and who actually seek to represent us and to be a true, what a politician is supposed to be, not just a shill for corporate interests, but somebody who listens, who takes in, and then acts on that in a manner that is effective, logical, and helpful for people. This is somebody who is tireless. My goodness, and that, astrologically speaking, having Moon in Aries as well as Mars in Aries, he's doing things that I, 50 years younger, marvel at. Jet setting across the country, speaking time and time again on the same issues, which, by the way, is wonderful. Another aspect of consistency in a politician. Are you kidding me? That exists. It's inspiring to say the least, and it's reassuring. Again, it's reassuring because I have faith finally in a politician that is going to be able to correctly ascertain what's going on and to follow through. And for those who are concerned that he's too old for the presidency, with Mars in Aries and Moon in Aries, he is not going to rest until his job is done. I believe that. And my goodness, the man has such great ideas. He wants to give back to the people through universal health care. He wants to make public tuition accessible to everybody, as it always should have been, as logically just makes sense if we want as a society to progress, to move forward, and to continue to enlighten ourselves, and to reach forward, technologically speaking, socially speaking, economically speaking, overall, and to lead the world into a higher plane of being, a more efficient way of being. Give him this opportunity. That is, it just makes sense to give him this opportunity because the man is tireless and he will succeed if he's given the opportunity. And for that matter, what's beautiful is it's not even a matter of necessarily giving him the opportunity. He's claiming it for himself, which is classic Moon and Mars and Aries. And how beautiful is it that he's claiming this opportunity that benefits all of us. Okay, obviously not the billionaire class and those who've just gotten obscene amounts of money from the rest of the people basically shopping at Walmart and the other mass collective entities out there that benefit from the people's dollars and give little in return, hardly anything in return. This man has the right ideas. Has integrity. He stands up for what he believes in. He's not full of himself. And he has it within him to do great things, just as he's already done. This is somebody who genuinely cares about people and genuinely wants to be a master at his job. That is what Virgo energy is all about. Is through analysis and hard work and diligence, making a difference in the world, serving in some way. And more than ever, we need somebody in power who is genuinely serving the interests of the people. It would be an honor to have him as a president. And it would truly lead the world to be a better version of itself. We're at a crossroads here, and it's very interesting to see the polar opposites between Sanders and Trump, at how visions differ of where this world should go. America, though only comprising about 350 odd million individuals out of 7 point, I don't even know what it is now, 7.4 billion or so, quite a small minority, is by far the most pioneering as per what human society could be, because of our democracy, because of our ability to give people freedom, to recognize the human born right for freedom. And what we decide at this crossroads, where we decide to go, will shape the rest of the world for forever. It is so crucial that everybody do their part. I'm doing mine. And for those especially who live in Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Vermont, Virginia, the American Samoa, and Colorado. With Super Tuesday coming up on Tuesday, the primaries, it is more crucial than ever that you get out and vote. My friend was just telling me how in the Nevada caucus, which I caucused in last, or what was it, a week and a half ago, something like that, only 18% of the youth came out to vote, but it's something like 80% supported Sanders. Now, I know this caucus system is frustrating as all hell. It's antiquated, archaic in so many ways. It took forever. It was like 3 hours to cast this one vote that could have been done online in a moment's notice and been able to enfranchise so many people who weren't able to show up. It is a corrupt system. Very frustrating indeed. But I happily went through it so I could cast my vote and do my civic duty to support the candidate of my choice. And in this case, a candidate who I feel is going to truly help this nation recover from the wounds that we've been sustaining for decades of deregulation, of corporate interests infesting our politics, of misguided wars for the sake of arms companies yielding ridiculous profits, of oil companies yielding ridiculous profits, the American people suffering, with our social programs being cut left and right. It is so important to stand up and to actually speak. So please, for everybody in the primaries to come, do your civic duty, please. And for those like myself who've already been through the primaries, volunteer. That's what I'm going to do. Speak out. Educate yourself. Inform other people. That's what we're supposed to do in a democracy. Otherwise, this system doesn't function very well, as we've seen with the recent terrible voter turnout that led to Congress becoming overwhelmingly Republican. A very pathetic state of affairs indeed, and one that has only promoted continuation and worsening of our social problems, our economic problems, and of course our political problems. So I urge you to vote for the candidate who informs himself, who works hard, tirelessly, again, so much so that I don't know how he does it, and who's genuinely interested in making this world a better place. Not just America, but around the world, not getting involved in senseless conflicts, and being of a calm, intelligent demeanor and rationale. Speaking to those who see the other populist candidate, Trump, as the ideal, don't buy into the fear. Don't buy into his vague promises. Don't buy. Do you really think that a businessman is going to help us when our biggest problem is economic corruption through corporations, huge corporations, infesting our politics? No. He's just going to make it worse. Not to mention the horrible social, the racism and ethnocentrism of characterizing entire groups of people, whether Muslims or Mexicans or goodness, or of course the lack of support on his end for Black Lives Matter, a crucial social movement aiming to continue the work of the civil rights era, which is so desperately in need, considering the wanton murders that are occurring in our streets, as well as the overall problem of just systemic disenfranchisement, lack of education, lack of opportunities, lack of social programs getting involved in ghettos and very desperate environments indeed. That is Trump. That is not going to help. Sanders cares, and he not only cares, but he's working to do something about it. And that, one final thing. To understand the universal focus that naturally comes to Mr. Sanders, it's very interesting to note how he has Mercury and Neptune conjunct, and how that conjunction naturally gives that individual a broad mindset, an ability to have a compassion, one of the key words for Neptune, for everybody, and to incorporate that into his daily thoughts, the Mercury principle. And considering that Neptune is in Virgo here, and in addition to Sun in Virgo, it's refreshing to have somebody who's compassionate and yet able to do something, willing to do something, and doing it. Something that is benefiting all of us, as Neptune knows no bounds. He has the right ideas. He's going about it the right way. And that is my analysis. Infinite love to you, friend. Namaste.